You've got Jim Davis up a game over Fennell. Both these players 4-1 here this weekend in Orlando. Take a look at the battlefield, and you'll find a Chandra there for Jim Davis on 5 counters. A lot of lands on the battlefield, which means that his shrines have been turned on. For Chris Fennell, he also has a lot of lands, which means that his Lumbering Falls is very large because of Sylvan Advocate. Fennell in the graveyard has a couple of copies of Ochiai's Command. He also just has some mana at the ready. Even though we don't have a great look at his hand, Davis is the one with all the cards.
Yeah, it looks like he probably resolved an Epiphany at the end step.
Yeah.
And now just has infinite options to work with.
The problem here for Jim, as he plays a land, he's going to play a Shrine, is that he's at 6.
Yep.
Doesn't have a lot of life. Doesn't have to worry about a card like Fireball, but he does not have a good answer to a card like Lumbering Falls.
Well, and one of the things that makes the Bant Company so good is its ability to deploy threats on the opposing turn.
Here's Spatial Contortion. Going to go after Sylvan Advocate. Fennell is going to give that a look. Jim able to use Shrine to be able to cast it, because you can use that to cast colorless spells. So he wants to give Sylvan Advocate +3/-3. That's going to work. But he's still got some work to do on that thing. Chandra down to 3. So it's looking to finish off the Sylvan Advocate. All right.
Success.
Yes. And Davis very methodical in his ways. Normally he thinks things out quite a bit to start his turn, and then he makes the moves on his turn. Tapping some mana now. That's 6. Drowner. Does Fennell have another Ochiai's Command? It looks like he does.
Yeah, he plays 1 in the main deck and then 2 more out of the board.
Okay. There is Ochiai's Command. Wants to get back Sylvan Advocate and counter Drowner of Hope. Davis, reaching for mana very quickly, leads me to believe he has a counter spell. He does. It's Clash of Wills. That'll be for 2. Fennell's only got 1. Does Fennell have something like a Dispel in this spot? He does not. So Clash of Wills will take care of Ochiai's Command, which means Drowner of Hope resolves. 2 Scions on the way. And Davis will simply pass the turn back now. Fennell's going to untap all those lands, 2 Lumbering Falls among them. And he'll be drawing a card here momentarily. Canopy Vista the draw.
It's looking like Jim Davis is in the driver's seat. He just has a whole bunch of spells in his hand. Planeswalker on the board. Just a lot more at his disposal right now.
You know, I think Fennell was trying to get the job done across the finish line with those Lumbering Falls.
Yep.
Because it's really hard for Jim to be able to kill those.
Yep.
But Drowner of Hope has kind of shown up. A 5/5 is a really big deal in this spot, and it doesn't look like Fennell has a clean answer.
But if he's going to claw his way back, Duskwatch Recruiter is one of the good ways to do it, that's for sure.
It's a great way to start. Top 3 cards here. Nissa, maybe.
The pump fake.
Yes.
Hey, I found this card. Maybe.
I'm thinking about taking it.
Yeah, Nissa's a pretty good one here.
Yeah. Now remember, Davis does have a copy of Fiery Impulse in hand. Fennell was deciding between that and Tireless Tracker. That's actually a pretty tough choice, but he's going to go with Nissa. Other cards will go to the bottom. Nissa goes to the grip. And now it appears as though Nissa will be cast. That'll resolve. Search for a forest.
And if Jim had Fiery Impulse, he would want to use it in response to the search trigger.
Just in case of Evolving Wilds?
Just in case of Evolving Wilds.
Well, he does have the Fiery Impulse, and he is going to use it to kill Nissa with the transformation on the stack. So that's going to go to the graveyard. Maybe a little risky there by Davis. But it worked out okay for him. And now all Fennell can do is pass the turn back over to Davis. So Davis is going to untap all these lands. And time to draw. Void Shatter's a nice one to have here.
Yeah, a little more insurance for him.
The key, as we mentioned off the top, is right now I think Fennell's best threats are those Lumbering Falls. And you just want to make sure you don't lose to those.
Yep.
Can't fire Impulse or Kozilek's Return, those things. At least not effectively.
And that's one of the things that you get when you employ these 3-color or enemy color strategies. You end up with the creature lands.
Yep. I think that's kind of the appeal. You know, I was actually talking to some people out of Green-White, and Rossmary and I were chatting. It's just yeah, if Green-White had Stirring Wildwood, no one would win.
Yeah.
You could never beat the deck.
Well, it wouldn't lose to any other deck, though. It would just be so good.
Yeah. It would just be too good if it had that. Here's Kozilek's Return. You see Jim do that off of his Scions.
Yeah, they weren't going to live through that Kozilek's Return anyway.
Now, what's interesting about this is Jim is basically trying to get Chris to activate the Duskwatch Recruiter, because if he does, he dies. You fire up the Wandering Fumarole and you make 2 tokens with Chandra and kill him. He's going to plus Chandra, and Jim's just going to do this anyway. Yeah, and that is going to get the job done right there. Yeah. Jim Davis is going to win this match here over Christopher Fennell, 2-0. Blue-Red Eldrazi will take care of Bat Company, and for Davis, the player's champion, team captain of TeamMetaGameGurus.com, 5-1.